Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. You know what time it is. It's time for JJK 269 spoiler reviews. Yeah, that's right, where we talk about the new leaks and, because it's not officially out, it's still a leak. But even though we got most of the chapters, hey. But anyway, let's start off with the first important part that people are always wondering from the last chapter. And the first thing to go over is Yuta Aotu. Yes, the prodigy, Mr. I'm still the MC, even though ain't even my series no more. Aotu. He is alive, and not just alive, back in his own goddamn body. Now, you're probably wondering, I thought he'd be stuck in Gojo's body, or I thought he'd have some major repercussions. Turns out, Rika, the goat that she is, was keeping his body all nice and warm with reverse cursed energy. Reverse curse technique. So, thus, still being alive in body, just no function of brain and all that, he could put his brain back into his original body. Now, you're probably wondering, why couldn't he move before? That's also very, very simple. It seems Kenjaku, being the goat that he is with reverse curse technique and such, the reason that he was able to do all that was simply because he had 1,000 years to master his curse technique to the point that he could use binding vows, tons of them, tons of binding vows, but not just binding vows, also curse techniques that worked along with it so he could actually move his body right afterwards of doing all that. So there's a little nerf to having Kenjaku's curse technique now for Yuta. It's not just he can just, hot bodies and we're able to do all that easily, I mean, who the fuck body do you want after that? Just use Gojo's body in the freezer over and over and over? Let that man rest, please, God. Let him rest. But yeah, the caveat is once Yuta does a domain expansion in said person's body, his body will just fall. It's not even like it's part of his curse technique that he comes back. If he does a domain expansion, the burnout afterwards will keep him just utterly useless. He's just like Yamcha at that point, just on the floor, useless, just laying there sprawled out, begging for someone to please come pick him up. Can't do shit. So that's a caveat. One and done if he ever does that, which is good. Give some that the man was being too broken for no goddamn reason. Not gonna hold you. He has happy ending of getting back his body. Hopefully he never uses that curse technique ever again. Honestly, he probably just lose it or whatever for some odd reason. I don't know why he would want that curse technique again. I don't know. It's a weird curse technique for you to have in general of his arsenal. Maybe just toss it out. Just toss it out. And on to the second big part of this whole story, Higuruma is alive. I know, crazy, right? I actually thought he was dead. I don't know. I thought he was gone. So apparently the reason that Higuruma is actually alive is just because Sukuna was just playing with him too much. He was just playing. That's all it was. That's why Higuruma is alive. Sukuna was just playing. My bad, G. We're just joking around here, Is it crazy? Sukuna actually only got 3 bodies in the whole fight. The whole 70 chapters plus whatever the fuck. It was only 3 bodies, being Choso, Higuruma, not even Higuruma, Gojo, and Kashima. So kinda lackluster, not gonna hold you. Sir, you only got 3 bodies? You're the king of curses. What was all that domain expansion? The Fuga? Only 3? What? Listen, it's not my fault that Gege decided to make it Disney Kaisen, alright? I wanted all the bodies. Apparently we're just bringing back anybody at this point, alright? In all honesty, I don't even know why Choso had to die. Not gonna hold you. I feel like we actually could have just brought Choso in a weird way back. But the chapter talks more about what they could have done while also disproving why that wouldn't have worked. So if you ever had a thought of why didn't Maki go after Kenjaku instead, it was just because Todo wouldn't have helped her and it wouldn't have worked out, and also the curses that would probably release would have caused even more trouble. So that's why Yuta had to do it. And the only reason that Higuruma is alive is because Yuta wasn't fighting at that moment. So if Yuta was fighting, then Sukuna would have been more serious and killed Higuruma. So that's more so why stuff are happening. as well as apparently Higuruma's the one who thought of most of these plans as well, with the recorder Inumaki used, which is goated of this man. Just like think like, yo, can't we just record this bitch and then throw it out at Sukuna, just stun him right quick, stun lock him? He's smart. Higuruma, genius. I'm just glad he's alive. All right, we have our Nanami back in a sense. We have our brother Toto back, so I guess we just had, you know, trade-offs here and there. JJK way, that's all it is. Unfortunately, so we also found out the new shadow style rule, whatever it's called. The reason that Yuji was able to do it is because the new head gave him the right to learn it via binding vows, but the new head is also Kusakabe. Thus, because Mei went out to go kill the elder of the current new shadow style school, which if the elder passes away, the next best student, disciple, would become the next head. And as you can see from the goat Kusakabe and all that glazing that came during the fight, he was voted to be, like, you know, kind of the best with all that skill. All right, which is rightfully so. All right, he held his own against Sukuna for a good bit there. Stall King, stall. Stand proud. You are strong. I hate Mei so much. Oh my god, I don't know. She just pisses me off at this point. I don't know why. Yeah, sure, she did a good thing, I guess, in a sense, but I don't know. I just hate her now. I don't know why. Like, damn. Yeah, but also no really other repercussions to be had. It seems there's just more tidying up, more happy stuff, not gonna hold you. If anything, it talks about how there's no one's at fault from, like, the schools of the kids, you know. They're not at fault. Everything's fine. No fallout, no repercussions whatsoever, which is weird. It's a weird sense, you know. I felt like there's something missing. It's too cheery to, like, wrap everything up like, oh, everything worked out perfectly, which is weird for JJK, right? Something has to go wrong. Something has to go wrong. Like, it feels weird that it's only happy things at this point. If we're going only happy things, just bring back everybody else. Bring back Gojo. At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if Gojo came back as some type of Go Shinigami or something like that. I don't know. It just feels like he's coming back too, in some sense of the way. Right? But also, we only have 2 chapters left. 2 chapters left. Crazy ride, huh? But you know what? You can check out Danadon, Kagurubachi. Hey, you want some manhwa? Lookism, Questism, Quest Supremacy. Many great works to come.